Tonight on Mello Tv Sports, the West Indies will tour New Zealand in October. Paris Saint-Germain win a dramatic Champions League quarterfinals against Atalanta. And Russia paid $6.3 million to escape expulsion from track and field's world governing body. We bowl off Mello TV Sports with cricket as the West Indies men's team will tour New Zealand in October after the country announced a full program of international cricket during their summer. The Caribbean side will play 3 tests and 3 T20 internationals. New Zealand cricket is currently working with the government on the biosecurity measures that will be needed in place for the touring teams, with visitors to the country currently required to isolate for 14 days on arrival. Tours by the West Indies, Pakistan, Australia and Bangladesh are on the cards, with a visit by the Australia women's team also in the early stages of planning for the gap created by the postponed ODI World Cup in February. The tests against West Indies and Pakistan are part of the World Test Championship. We go over to netball news now. Sunshine girl Shamira Sterling was on the losing end as her Adelaide Thunderbird team was beaten 51-66 by defending champions NSW Swifts in round 3 of the Suncorp Super Netball League in Australia today. The Swifts dominated the game, racking up a 17-goal lead at halftime before cruising to victory to celebrate Vice-Captain Paige Hadley's 100th National League match. Sterling now tops the leaderboard in 2 categories, defensive rebounds with 8 and deflections with 22. The Thunderbirds are currently 1 from bottom on the 8-team table, trailed by only Ramelda Aiken and the Queensland Firebirds, who have lost all 3 of their matches so far. In today's second game, Kadian Dehaney and her Melbourne Vixens defeated the Sunshine Coast Lightning 63-51. That win sees the Vixens top the standings with 12 points from a perfect 3 from 3. Jamaican players top 6 of the 9 categories in the statistical standings of the tournament. We go over to the NBA now. Giannis Antetokounmpo was ejected from the Milwaukee's game against the Washington Wizards last night after the reigning NBA MVP headbutted Maurice Wagner. With 8 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the first half, and more specifically the second quarter, Wagner took a charge from Antetokounmpo, who didn't like the offensive foul call in what had become a physical game. During a break in the action with Milwaukee challenging the call, Antetokounmpo approached Wagner, exchanging words with the Wizards power forward before headbutting him. He was immediately ejected from the game. Antetokounmpo had 12 points and 9 rebounds in 10 minutes before exiting the floor. Milwaukee, however, went on to win what was essentially a meaningless contest, 126-113. The Bucks have already clinched the top seed in the Eastern Conference, while the Wizards, who are winless in the bubble, have already been eliminated from playoff contention. Other results from last night's games saw Portland winning 134-131 over Dallas. Phoenix scorched Philadelphia 130-117. Boston were 122-107 winners over Memphis. San Antonio shot down the Rockets 123-105. New Orleans Pelicans lost 106-112 to Sacramento, while Brooklyn netted Orlando 108-96. We kick it over to football news now. Paris Saint-Germain today won 2-1 as they scored twice in stoppage time to seal an incredible comeback to shatter Atalanta's dreams and reach the Champions League semi-finals for the first time in 25 years. A night of frustration from PSG forward Neymar looked set to ensure more continental disappointment for the French champions as Atalanta led through Mario Pulisic. But Neymar laid on a 90th minute equalizer for defender Marquinhos, and substitute Kylian Mbappe teed up former Stoke City striker Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting to slide in the winner. Meanwhile, Barcelona says an unnamed squad member has tested positive for COVID-19. He was one of 9 reported for preseason training, showed no symptoms, and has been quarantined at home. Barcelona says he has not been in contact with any senior players who travel to Lisbon tomorrow to prepare for a Champions League quarter-finals. Valencia confirmed 2 more cases of COVID-19 this week, while Atletico Madrid reported 2 positive tests before their Champions League quarter-finals. Because of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, the Champions League is concluding with a final 8 tournament in Lisbon, comprising of only single-leg games held behind closed doors. Barcelona play Bayern Munich on Friday, the day after Atletico Madrid face RB Leipzig. On to track and field news now. Russia today paid $6.3 million to World Athletics to escape expulsion from track and field's world governing body. The federation, known as RUSAF, had a Saturday deadline to pay a $5 million fine and $1.3 million in costs to World Athletics. That followed the alleged use of forged medical documents to give an athlete an alibi for being unavailable for drug testing. RUSAF was threatened with expulsion after it missed an initial July 1 deadline to pay. After the July 1 deadline was missed, World Athletics extended a freeze on following Russian athletes to compete as authorized neutral athletes in international events until the money is paid and RUSAF presents a plan for future anti-doping reforms. The next deadline is to present a draft plan for review on August 31. RUSAF is still serving a suspension imposed in 2015 by World Athletics over widespread doping. Now to end tonight's sports package, we present you with Sports Spotlight. In tonight's Sports Spotlight, I wanted to highlight some absentees from the Caribbean Premier League, the CPL. Now, Jamaica Talawa's assistant coach Ramnaresh Sarwan has been omitted due to personal reasons. However, a more serious case, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots head coach Simon Helmut will not be there after contracting the coronavirus. Andre McCarthy and Javor Royal, due to contacts of a confirmed case, will not be in Trinidad. But travel inability has caused South African bowler Tabraj Shamsi to be omitted. Will there be other players leaving the bubble as well as coaching staff members, or is that it? We'll never know. This has been Sports Spotlight. And those are the stories making sports news tonight. We now head back to the news desk with Shelley and Hill.
Thank you, Christopher. And now, to end tonight's newscast, here are the main points. Following yesterday's announcement of a general election on Thursday, September 3, Dr. Peter Phillips says the PNP is prepared to rescue Jamaica. 7 current members of parliament are not seeking re-election at the September 3 polls. Digicel notified of 6 additional COVID-19 cases and 2 negative results for employees from the same team. And the Kingston Eastern Police seized 119 rounds of ammunition and a magazine during a joint operation with the JDF in McIntyre Villa. And that's our news package for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV Evening News at 8. I am Shelley Ann Hill. Stay safe and pleasant viewing.
The Mello TV Evening News at 8 was brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Reduce your risk of viral illnesses like the flu and coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing with a tissue and dispose of it. Avoid close contact with anyone with the cold or flu-like symptoms. If you think you've been exposed to COVID-19, stay home, self-isolate immediately and call 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.